Then he's talking about the angels here are commanded to set off storms like never before. The earth will tremble, burn, and be washed away. Warn them now. He says the next wave of storms and events through spring will be massive. Judgment will continue until people of the land get it. Millions will suffer God's wrath. Do not be one of them. The end is near, but don't stop fighting as you have a task to do. Tornadoes, earthquakes, firefights, winds, stones. So when he says stones, he's talking about hail. Like, you know how hail come down? That's when he say stones. And the wrath of 1,000 waters and judgment from the depths of the earth will destroy and burn the land.
A luxury SUV in the Denton County town of Bartonville was no match for the hailstorm that pummeled the area Sunday. A look at the aftermath on that vehicle: shattered windows. It merely sets the tone for how many people are dealing with similar circumstances. Another Bartonville homeowner recorded this cell phone video. Not far away in Highland Village, a homeowner here shows us what was falling at her house. It explains why, on Monday, a roofer in the area.
I've already been on 3 roofs, and they're all destroyed within a 10-mile radius of here.
Says the damage is the most he's seen in roughly a decade.
This storm, it's one of the worst storms. The only one that's even comparable is back in the 2012, 2016. McKinney had a bad storm like this, but I mean, seeing baseball-size hail, I mean, not 1 or 2, the whole roof is destroyed with baseball size.
Wow. Yeah, Lee Griffin shared this video of hail in Rockwall last night. It came off his roof and left much of his yard looking white. Much of what he had was around marble size, but some of it was actually golf ball size. And Evan says there were even softball size in some areas. Much larger hail spotted in the Denton County town of Double Oak. Tony Bustamante shared this video of golf ball to what appeared to be baseball-sized hail also hitting his pool there. We'll have another chance.
Canada is enduring its worst wildfire season of the 21st century.
4.7 million hectares of forest have been burned.
You're like...
Now, as of yesterday, there were 431 active wildfires across the country, 208 considered out of control. Nearly 32,000 people were evacuated or are still evacuated. Wildfire smoke's also having an impact on air quality in Western Canada and also parts of Quebec and Northern Ontario.
Over in Alberta, firefighters are getting some backup. 100 personnel from Chile and Costa Rica are expected to join the nearly 2,700 crew from other countries helping to fight wildfires in the province.
More than 400 wildfires continue to rage across Canada. Officials there are warning that the historic wildfires could last all summer. Polluted air continues to spread as smoke and haze also lingers over parts of the U.S. and Canada. Here with us now, Seth Mitchell, the Division Chief of Angeles National Forest. Seth spent about 2 weeks in Canada managing about 300,000 acres of fire as they continue to fight these fires.
You know, Canada right now is in a drought state. So from the western side of the province of British Columbia all the way over to Newfoundland, they've got fire spread out all over. So firefighters right now in Canada are really maxed out. So that's why they've brought in U.S. firefighters, and they've reached out to Australia as well. So we're coming in there, adding additional capacity to support their progress. But they're going to be in it for the long haul as long as these drought conditions remain.
And is there concern that as fires in California start to spark, you'll have fewer resources to send to the north?
Yeah, that's exactly one of the concerns we do have currently with the weather patterns that we have had. Unfortunately, we've had a very increased moisture over this last winter, as everybody knows. So that's been really helpful. As we get later into July and August, those are traditionally our highest fire danger months. So we do anticipate fire activity to pick up. But as long as we have the resources, we're able to manage everybody.
Suba presión, suba presión. Agua. Agua. Va. Vale, vale. Toma. Ojo más, Venga. Otra.
Now, huge fires blowing black smoke clouds in the sky. This is what the forests in eastern Spain look like now. This is the first major wildfire of the year that has gripped the eastern Valencia region. fire has destroyed more than 3,000 hectares of forest, and over 1,500 residents had to flee their homes. About 500 firefighters have been working to douse the flames. 18 planes and helicopters have been deployed for emergency services. The regional head of the Interior Affairs for Valencia says that 8 communities have been evacuated. He further warned that strong winds could aggravate the fire in the region.
Estamos ante el primer gran incendio, por desgracia, de este año y además está produciendo fuera de temporada, ¿no? Quiero, por tanto, expresar todo el apoyo del Gobierno, del Ejecutivo Central, a los servidores públicos que están luchando contra el fuego, a todos los ciudadanos y ciudadanas que se están viendo afectados por la devastación de las llamas, especialmente aquellos que han tenido que evacuarse y que han tenido que abandonar en consecuencia su hogar. Y lo único que puedo pedir es máxima prudencia, máxima precaución.
The Philippines remains on high alert after Mount Mayon started spewing lava and sulfuric gas. The volcano is one of the world's most active and sits around 330 kilometers southeast of the capital, Manila. Authorities say more than 20 volcanic earthquakes have been felt within the last 24 hours. More now from CNA's
The province's information office says there is a possibility of raising the alert level of Mayon in the coming weeks or months.
Fifteen people died, another 8 are missing this morning. Heavy rains unleashed widespread flooding and several landslides across Haiti over the weekend. More than 13,000 people were forced to evacuate. The rains also caused significant damage to crops in Haiti's central region at a time when starvation is growing more widespread.
Tonight, a flooding emergency in Cuba turns deadly. Raging water sweeping through homes, leaving communities underwater, thousands evacuated, and at least 1 person killed. The military using helicopters in some areas to rescue families, including women and children. Cuba's central and eastern areas are the most affected after a weekend of heavy rain causing rivers to overflow. Over 400 rural communities affected by the flooding, already damaging over 2,000 acres of crops, including fruits and vegetables, vital to help with those food shortages.
Weather now. Heavy rainfall and flooding caused damage and road closures across many parts of southern Colorado again today, especially in some of those southeast neighborhoods near Fountain Security Widefield. Our Maggie Bryan in studio, and you were at some of those locations this afternoon where we saw that flooding and the flood damage. Tell us more about what you saw.
Yeah, Rob, one of those flooded streets in Fountain, blocking off over 100 homes, blocking off residents from going in and out of their neighborhood the whole day.
Flooding in southern Colorado, some of the worst affecting areas near Peyton. Security, Ellicott.
Tonight, Haiti reeling from twin disasters. A 4.9 magnitude earthquake rocked the island nation while residents were cleaning up from catastrophic flooding. The quake shaking western Haiti, collapsing buildings along the coast and turning homes to rubble.
A magnitude 6.3 earthquake was recorded in Calatagan, Batangas early Thursday morning, which was felt in Metro Manila and other parts of Luzon. The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, or PHIVOLCS, said the tectonic tremor occurred at around 10:19 a.m., 15 kilometers southwest of the said town. Residents in several areas reported a strong felt intensity. These are the residents of Manila, Mandaluyong, Quezon City, Valenzuela, and Malolos in Bulacan. Batangas.
A deadly tornado in the Texas Panhandle Thursday night. This video showing some of the destruction in Perryton, where the National Weather Service confirming a tornado hit.
We've got one trailer on fire. We've got multiple trailers destroyed.
The fire chief there reporting much of the town is destroyed, including homes, the hospital switching to generators, the power and communications out for most of the area. Take a look at the sky around Oklahoma City Thursday night. Bursts of strong winds sending dust flying, with fast-moving storms expected to bring wind gusts of 80 to 90 miles per hour. Softball-sized hail seen falling across Arkansas, making huge splashes in this backyard pool in Hot Springs. In Georgia, some areas faced more than 7 inches of rain, flooding streets and stranding cars. Parts of Alabama are cleaning up from storms. These are 2 homes badly damaged in Utah, a huge tree crashing down on a car. And in Mississippi, the storm damage cut power and water to thousands for hours.
Been hot. No food, no nothing, no power. It just been.
You begin tonight with what the National Weather Service is calling a particularly dangerous situation across several states. We have multiple tornadoes on the ground already today, at least 6 tornadoes reported at this hour, and the severe thunderstorm watches and warnings, damaging winds into the night. And in the Northeast, the storm's blowing through, affecting air travel, and that worker hit by lightning. 30 million Americans across the South, from Texas to Florida, in the storm zone at this hour. This monster tornado spinning through Newton, Georgia. That's in the southwest part of the state. The area under a flood watch as well. Those fierce winds ripping apart these buildings in Abbeville, Alabama. The map tonight showing the severe threat as we come on right now. Winds in some places gusting up to 90 miles per hour. And here in the Northeast, dark skies, fast-moving storms, and that lightning strike. A police officer saving the worker with CPR. ABC's chief meteorologist Ginger Z leading us off. She's in the storm zone. She's in Alabama tonight.
Tonight, powerful storms cutting a path across the South. This twister tearing across the land, throwing debris in southwest Georgia. At least 2 supercells came with a particularly dangerous situation warning.
That is a tornado moving across the field. Look at that debris being kicked up. Wow. So this was in a rural area, but it has been in southern Georgia today, where we've had storms that have done exactly what you're looking at just now. This is the clearest picture, obviously, we've had all day of a tornado on the ground, but this gives you an indication of what these storms have been doing. Several of them. We've had at least, half a dozen plus confirmed tornadoes just in southern Georgia. And look at this now. This is a drone vantage point, still from Newton, Georgia. Wow. You can see not only the tornado on the ground, but look at that whole lowering of the cloud base, the wall cloud, how fast that's rotating. And we've got a number of vantage points of this.
Major cyclone Biparjoy has made landfall. Strong winds and heavy rainfall are pounding the coastline of India and Pakistan alike. According to the Indian Met Department, it hit the coast between Karachi and Mandvi and regions close to the port of Jakhau in Gujarat. The cyclone is moving at the speed of 115 kilometers per hour, and the landfall process will continue till midnight. Nearly 175,000 people have fled the predicted path of Cyclone Biparjoy. Meteorologists are warning it could devastate homes and tear down power lines. Authorities say that the storm has lost some of its intensity, but it still remains a cause of concern as wind speeds of 135 kilometers per hour have been predicted. These are images from Bhuj in India's western state of Gujarat. Take a look. This is Bhuj, where heavy rains and winds are already being witnessed. The national and state disaster response forces have been deployed and people have been moved away from the coastal areas. Authorities in India's western state of Gujarat have evacuated more than 75,000 people.
It's a constant downpour. Literally, it's very brutal. That's it. We see sometimes nature is so aggressive that it literally brings mayhem and creates havoc in this area. And this is not just one family. So we have seen many families all around who are in such residential areas, residential complexes, where they would require immediate attention from the authorities. Immediate rescue process need to be done.
Now, it looked like a winter wonderland in the middle of June this afternoon. This may appear to be snow, but it's actually hail falling from the sky in Howell. 7 Action News reporter Brett Cass spoke to neighbors who found themselves doing a double take.
Well, it's been hours since hail fell on Howell, and still yards are completely covered. But thankfully in this neighborhood, just minor damage. Just before 5 p.m., an onslaught of hail falling onto homes in Howell. Residents like Kim Stricker, who was home at the time with his wife Sarah, wondered if it was heavy rain until he looked outside.
I opened the door and I said, "What the hail?"
The hail continued to fall as some Howell backyards measured nearly 2 inches of hail, with pieces roughly 3/4 of an inch in diameter. Stricker worried those sizable chunks of ice would break through his skylight as water leaked through the ceiling in his office.
I've never seen hail like that before. It was coming down, pummeling the house.
You could see it just, they were hitting hard. It would get a little scary.
Less than a mile down the road, Chris Moore checks out the dents on the hood of his car, left by the falling hail still scattered on the ground.
Here's some of the smaller that's melting, but this is what was coming down and did all the damage. That's what you can hear on the roof.
Other viewer pictures from Howell show damage to this RV and yards still covered in hail.